Good evening, everyone. It's Saturday, October 4th, 2025, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois, and you are watching Co-op for Two. You're joining me today for the third session in our October Spooky Game Marathon. I labeled this video as an undecided game, so we'll decide what game to play right before we play it today here. But from this set I have here of the smaller games, well, they're not all smaller games, but they're the non-super special games that I try to give people advance notice about. Let's do a little bit of bookkeeping first before I check in with the channel. Tomorrow, Sunday at 1 p.m., we will do our normally scheduled Dear Holmes play-by-mail session. We'll start a new case called Return of the Ripper, and we'll play that throughout October. It looks like a more deadly, scarier Dear Holmes case than normal. So that's what we'll be doing on Sunday. And then we won't meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday, etc. Yesterday night, we played a game called Curious Jasper Park. It wasn't so much a game as a story told through documents, but it was very creepy and hit the spot. So one of the comments that was made when I laid out games we have available to us in October is that they seem to be a little puzzle heavy, and I agree with that. I don't know what, there's not that much we can do about it, but I do think maybe it means we should be alternating the puzzle games so we don't play too many puzzle games all at once. None of them are pure puzzles, they've all got some narrative, but perhaps that suggests we should be playing a puzzle game tonight. In fact, I think everything I have in front of me are puzzle games. All right, let me just check in with the chat, see how everyone's doing, see what people are in the mood for today. I can see the fan is on here. I hope everyone is having a good weekend. I have another question for the chat. Regarding these unscheduled videos. So sometimes I think for the most part it would be better if I scheduled a specific game several days ahead of time, then people who are interested in that game could join for it, or people who want to research the game before joining could do so. So from my standpoint, it feels like the sessions here where I say the game is undecided till we decide at the moment must be less than ideal for most viewers. It's a little bit beneficial for me sometimes when I'm not sure what I want to play. But I'm curious how you all feel about it. Those of you who join me for these playthroughs, do you prefer getting to pick and vote on the game before we play it, or would you rather have advanced knowledge about what game is going to be played? DJ Moneycat says I'm fine with it. Nelson says this is okay once in a while. I like the option to vote and choose. I like the mix of scheduled and impromptu streams. Okay. That sounds like 2 votes for this is good occasionally, just don't get into the habit of it. Well, let me show you the games I have in front of us here. So I've got 2 books that are narrative, scary puzzle books of different types. This one looks darker, has QR codes, and is just pure puzzles on each page, maybe linear, I'm not sure. This one looks like maybe not as dark, much more of a mixed media game. You get objects, you keep track of them as you travel around, but a very odd situation where the actual game looks like it's the first 25%, then the rest of it is just solutions, hints, etc. This one, you can see, though, it is puzzly, but not nearly as illustrated dark as this one. Then we have two small adult-rated horror puzzle games that are both short. I have no idea how long these are. We may not even finish these in one sitting. These, surely we would. The only downside to playing one of these is that there's an app that you use or a physical big device where you put keys in. And I think I have that device somewhere, but it's up in the attic, so I don't have it with me today. So if we played this today, we'd have to use the app. Then we have a short, easy, maybe supernatural themed audio game. If you've seen me play Echoes on the channel before, it's kind of a fun novelty that most of what you're doing is listening to audio and trying to reconstruct it. Then we have a short puzzle card game, Deckscape. I think we played Deckscape before. I'm not 100% sure, though. Then I've got a game from the Scarlet Envelope Company, which makes lots of these little, I guess they're puzzle escape room games in a very small form factor. Don't know how long this is. I don't even remember what case this is, but I think it's meant to be scary. And then I have 6, well, let's do it this way. I have 2 games that we looked at for our October preview that are puzzle-based games, one from Conundrum Box, one from Escape the Crate. I think these tend to be rather long, maybe even longer than the Deadbolt Mystery Society games. So if we want a long session, maybe these. Then I also found this old Deadbolt game, Sanitarium, about a mentally disturbed killer that looks kind of good. Then I have a shorter Deadbolt Mystery Society mini game that was sent to me by Stacy. So if we wanted to play a shorter game, we could try Deadbolt Mystery Society mini game. Paranormal, so that matches with our Halloween supernatural stuff. And then I have 2 standard Deadbolt Mystery Society games that we've been talking about playing. All right, so let me get these lined out here, and I guess we'll do it this way. I want them to be visible so you can vote on them. So if you want this is just not going to work, is it? If you want a longer game, then one of these on the left here, Deadbolt or associated. If you want a completely unknown experience, this feels like it's actually going to take us more than one night. So maybe this is not the best thing for today, but we could start it. So if you're feeling like trying a book, we've got this. If you want to roll the dice on the Scarlet Envelope, we've got this. 2 short horror games. We could play one and see if we want to play the other. Maybe you could vote for which one of these you wanted to play. Audio, shorter Deadbolt, card-based. All right, let's open up the voting here. And while we're voting, we can talk. Now, I think I improved this screen. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, so now you can see them all while we talk. Okay, over here. Look at how I make these nice screens for you so you can see everything while you vote. Got a real mix of votes here. What happens when this thing gets too big for the screen? What's going to happen? If you want to help vote on what games we play as we go further into October, you can visit the Board Game Geek Guild for this channel. There's a link on the YouTube page. And as always, let's thank the Patreon supporters of this channel for making it possible to buy all these games. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we've got 4 votes for Shadow People, the mini Deadbolt game. And then vote for Deadbolt, vote for Escape Room, a vote for Horror Escape Room, Lake, House by the Lake. So it looks like we've got almost 4 votes for the Escape Room, Lake House, and 4 votes for Deadbolt Shadow People on the 13th floor. Then we've got a couple other Deadbolt Mystery Society votes. Another vote for Shadow People. It looks like we're going to be playing Shadow People on the 13th floor. Okay. I think that's enough of a vote for us. Let me just see if I can read it better here. Okay, so the Deadbolt, it's all Deadbolt Mystery Society all the way down like turtles, except for a couple people voting for the Escape Room box. All right, Deadbolt Mystery Society is popular on this channel. So we're going to play this little small envelope by Deadbolt Mystery Society, this little mini case. And maybe when we finish, if we feel like it, we could always play a little bit more of something else. You guys always surprise me. Okay, Joseph says only 13 subscribers away. No, that's not right. We are about, I say we, I don't know what the right thing to do is, the right way to say it, but this channel is about 50 subscribers away, 53 from reaching 5,000 subscribers. It's kind of fun, kind of exciting. I've asked for suggestions about how to celebrate it on this channel. It's coinciding with the 5-year anniversary here. If you have ideas for how to celebrate it, I'd love to hear. Okay, so the group has decided to play this mini case from Deadbolt Mystery Society. Now, I don't have much experience with these small cases, but I like that this is paranormal. That's fitting with our theme this month. And thank you to Stacy for sending this to me. All right, let's have a look here. You are the owner and founder of the paranormal investigation service, GhostRid. People hire you to determine the cause and source of their haunting and get rid of it. This typically involves learning as much as you can about the location and the person or people who died there. This is the most recent job for which you've been hired. Ever since workers began renovations on the 13th floor of the Augustine Hotel, numerous reports have come in about sightings of strange shadow people. Are these sightings merely tricks of the light, or has all the recent construction awakened something otherworldly? Grab your EMF meter, head on up to the 13th floor and investigate to find out the true answer to this paranormal mystery. As is the case with every investigation you perform, you should do the following. Read the reports about any deaths that occurred on the 13th floor throughout the location's history. Examine the interviews with workers who have seen the shadow people. Use the various tools in your paranormal investigation kit to rule out certain spirits. Cleanse the location of the spirits that need help moving on, and collect your fee from the Augustine Hotel. There's the Augustine Hotel. Kind of narrow entrance there, huh? All right. So no envelopes, no multiple stages. It's all one stage here. Let's take a look at what we've got. We've got we can talk to people about the sightings. We can answer these questions. It looks like we've got 3 questions. Then we've got another little puzzle of some sort. Deaths in this hotel, I guess. Possible people whose spirits could be haunting the place. Some writing that appeared. Some more writing. Sticker and card. We don't need that. Another little secret message. And it looks like some little update. And then paranormal tools. It's interesting. So we've got a whole bunch of tools. All right, I don't know how we're supposed to use these, but maybe these are... Oh, what do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? In order. So we're going to have to use one or more of these items to cleanse the 13th floor. Okay, well, one thing I like about this is there are 3 cards with puzzles to answer. So let's just take a look at them. We don't know what order we're supposed to do them in. What do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? Then we've got 3 questions in the command center. In some paranormal investigations, cameras are set up in various places to monitor activity in the location. This place is usually referred to as a command center or nerve center. So it looks like we've got 3 separate questions. What are the first names of the shadow people in alphabetical order? What did the shadow people do? And how do we search the parking garage? These seem like puzzles, not multimedia, because it's telling us to enter passwords, no caps or spaces. And then we've got another question here. One of the things that got you interested in the paranormal in the first place was a gift of clairvoyance that you've always seemed to have. In the middle of your investigation, you get a vision. There's something you are supposed to read, but what is it? And what room number on the 13th floor should you search? Okay, so 3 things worth of questions, but seems like maybe we should start here with the sightings by workers. Barry Garza says, look, I don't believe in this stuff at all, but I know what I saw. There were 2 of them. They were people that looked like shadows. They were darting back and forth across the hall, going from room to room. It was impossible to tell whether they were male or female, but they had definite human characteristics. And yes, I'm sure it wasn't somebody playing a prank. We've been doing work on the 13th floor for about 3 weeks now. I haven't seen anything like this until we started tearing into the sheetrock. You think we were disturbing them? I did find something weird written on the sheetrock we tore out. See what you think. Okay, so here is what he found on the sheetrock, and he said he didn't see any spirit activity until they tore this out. Scratched on the torn out sheetrock. Teus alias Nears. Okay. Well, we'll try to figure that out later. Let's move on. Alfonso Smith. This place is haunted, no doubt. My grandmother used to tell me stories about what happens when a spirit can't rest. It roams and seeks peace without ever finding it. She was a psychic, and I believe she passed some of her psychic gifts along to me as well. When we first started seeing the shadow people, I did some automatic writing, which is where you let the spirit guide your hand and use you to pen their own message. The results I got were interesting, to say the least. Okay, so here is the automatic writing. big controversy about people writing for paralyzed people. There's some good documentaries on it. Okay, so he got some writing that some spirit directed him. Scratches on wall. Third is first. First is second. Second is third. A joke on my name. Or a joke and my name. Scratches on wall. Is he talking about this? First is second. Second is third. Third is first. So, a joke on my name. I wonder if he's saying that it's like near stay is alias. Near stay is alias. Something like that. All right, let's read this one. Franklin Archer. I don't know how to answer this specifically. I haven't seen the shadow people personally, but I know people who have, and I trust those people. What I do know is I was hired as a painter, and I paint. I spent an entire day painting only to come back to the next day and find some sort of graffiti painted over what I had done. Not happy. If it is shadow people, they need to mind their own business and leave the living alone. Okay, so here's the graffiti he saw spray painted. And then there's this weird thing that seems to be telling us to flip it. That's weird. This almost looks like some sort of Caesar cipher, or the reverse one where A goes to Z. Let's take a look here at our next document. Deaths on the 13th floor. These deaths have been independently confirmed via public records and via psychic. John and Mary Collins, devoted husband and wife who committed suicide together in room 1310 back in 2002, after finding out Mary had terminal brain cancer and was only expected to live a few more weeks. They had been together since high school and were unwilling to go on without each other. They each took half a bottle of sleeping pills, downed a fifth of whiskey, and died in an eternal embrace. Is that all it takes to kill yourself? Fargo Pepper, a local musician known best as the frontman for the band Zombified Zeus, who was prone to massive weekend partying in room 1319. On the weekend he died in 2018, sources say Fargo did a plethora of drugs, including angel dust, meth, mushrooms, and cocaine. The coroner ruled the death an accidental, since it was well known Fargo Pepper was a hard partier and a lover of life. Then we have the Brotherhood of the Stars, a doomsday cult, who formed a pact to end it all in anticipation of the arrival of the mothership, which would take them all to the ninth heaven on December 25th, 2018. There were 5 members in all, yet, strangely, none of them died as a result of suicide. Instead, the group's leader, Baron Vance, murdered the other 4 members of the cult in a blind rage after he discovered that goddess Athena, a female member of the group with whom he was in love, had actually fallen for brother Amit, who was also a member of the group. Grief-stricken and inconsolable, Baron shot everyone in room 1302 and then shot himself. Or at least, that's what the police think. Goddess Athena's body was never found. Investigators assumed that Athena was dead. However, there hasn't been any concrete proof to substantiate that claim. Then we've got the list of the members of the group. So that's everything for getting started. Let's remind ourselves the questions here. What are the first names of the shadow people in alphabetical order? So probably we think the shadow people are going to be from this list of people. What did the shadow people do? That's a weird question. Search the parking garage. Is that a question for us? Or is that going to give us more information? What do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? This feels like our end question, right? Because in our introduction, we're told that our final thing is to cleanse the location. So I feel like this is probably the last thing we do. And then this one is, what is it? In the middle of your investigation, you get a vision. There's something you're supposed to read. What is it? And what room number should you search? Okay, so something's going to send us to a room. Maybe one of these. So maybe these are going to answer these questions, including a room number. Okay, let's check in with the chat. See any ideas? Didn't the opening brief give us a list of which tasks? Maybe we should follow that order. I wonder what's scarier, spirits or asbestos. An alias for the name Alfonso, which is the joke. Anyone remember the PC game Indigo Prophecy? You took pills and booze, you got an automatic game over. I don't remember that. Okay. So you read this and thought that there was a joke on Franklin. I don't really get the comment about an alias for Alfonso. This looks like the spirit is saying a joke on my name, which would be one of the names here. So we've got Fargo Pepper, John and Mary Collins, and then these people here. So scratches on wall. Third is first. It feels to me like this is talking about this. So maybe we should try writing this out. If the third is first, we have nears. And then the first is second, we have P-A-Y-I-S. And then the second is third, which is alias. So we could look at columns. I don't see it, but it feels to me it's something like near stay is alias. Near stay is alias. And then it says a joke on my name, which matches with alias. So near stay is near stay a joke on one of these names? I don't see how. Aaron Vance, Goddess Athena, Argo Pepper, John and Mary Collins. I mean, I broke it up as near stay. You could imagine that near stay or near stay. Could it be anything else? Like near stay is alias. Joke on my name. Near stay. Joke on my name. I mean, surely the spirit is telling him something, so it should be a spirit's name. Near stay. Fargo. Very good. Okay, that's a good catch. Fargo. Yes, I think you got it. Near Stay is a play on Fargo. Good, good catch. Okay, so this one is Fargo Pepper. So Fargo Pepper is the person communicating to both of these people to the automatic writing and the sheetrock. So now that we know that, I suppose we should look at this one. I mean, we could go to Fargo Pepper's room, but maybe we should try to see if we can do this one first. He comes back and he finds graffiti over his painting. It's possible that we know enough to figure out what room to go to. Something we're supposed to read. What is it and what room number? Okay, we don't know what it is. We just know that it's Fargo Pepper talking to us. So I feel like maybe we have to decode this. Now, what do you think this means? This seems like it's saying like flip it. So you could go in the opposite order, like FIT, but then you have EOB. That doesn't sound right. These don't seem like BSF. Those aren't letters that can go together. This has to be not just a reordering, but a cipher of some sort. Where's our little cipher? This almost suggests to me that it's like the reversal. What is that called? At bash? Is it possible it's saying that Z goes to A and so on? XF would give us CU. BSF would be YHU. That doesn't make sense. YH. That's not right. YH, unless it's continuing with the XFs. CUY. That doesn't work. Okay. Saying to flip it over. If I flip it over and look at it, I don't really get anything better. You can't turn these upside down. They're all right side up. It's doing this little flip. It doesn't work. How's that? XF. I mean, surely there's no X in this word, so it has to be a cipher of some sort. That X has to turn into something. What is that X turning into? Right? Because we don't have a word with an X starting it or ending it. Certainly not FX. Let me read his thing again. He's a painter. He found some graffiti painting over what I had done. Is there some sense that it's on top of something? I see a little bit of a line here. Do you think that's cutting through certain letters? Did you see that? Is that my imagination? Like, look at this line. Looks like it might go all the way this way. Then there's another one here. Are there letters on these? Maybe. Okay, let's that's the right way to do this. You don't think it's this, you think it's a shift. You think it's shift just one to the right, huh? That's what the chat says. I mean, normally I'll spend time on these and won't look to the... Normally you should not give away solutions in the chat. You should say, I figured it out. If you want help, ask. That way everyone has a chance. But in this case, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, the chat has suggested, Harry has suggested shifting just one, which is a little weird, but one to the left. It's a little weird to use this to mean shift, but okay. So in other words, an X turned into a W. Then we get XF is we, then BSFOU becomes ARENT. Okay, well, it's clearly our message. So it was a Caesar cipher. So he says, we aren't MBSFJFE. LARRIED. LARRIED. Okay, we aren't worried. What is that? What have I mistranslated somewhere? That's not an M, is it? That's my problem. I guess that might be an N. We aren't married. Okay, we aren't married. So it sounds like it's the married couple who's not really married. Okay, CVU becomes BUT. We aren't married, but BSF becomes ARE, but RIF becomes HE. But BOE becomes AND. We are married, but are we aren't married, but are he and TIF becomes SHE. We aren't married, but he and she. So he and she. We aren't married, so this is a devoted husband-wife. So he's saying that's not us we're talking about. They're talking about these people, he and she. So goddess Athena and the person that he thought was having an affair, Brother Abbott. Sounds like he's talking about Brother Ammit and Goddess Athena. What do you think? So is this person talking about these to Goddess Athena and Brother Amit. And do we now know 3 spirits? And do we think that's how many we're dealing with? Two of them. There were 2 of them. They were people that looked like shadows. So do you think one of them is Fargo Pepper? And then could it be Fargo Pepper and Goddess Athena? He says she was having an affair, had fallen for Brother Amit, who is also a member of the group. Or are these separate people? Going from room to room. So we seem to have 3 people. Fargo Pepper and a non-married he and she. But this person says 2 spirits. So I think the total number of spirits we're looking for, shadow people, are 2. Which makes me think that maybe Fargo Pepper was having an affair with Athena, even though this guy thinks it was these 2 members of the group. Let's take an early break here. I'll see you in 8 minutes. We are back playing through Deadbolt Mystery Society mini case, The Shadow People on the 13th Floor. I think we figured out who our spirits are, and I think we need to take a moment to appreciate this for a second, because DJ Moneycut had a good observation. He said the timelines of Fargo and Athena seem to line up. If she's a spirit, where is her body? I think both parts of that statement are intriguing. First of all, let's take a look at what DJ has said. I've suggested that maybe we know one of the spirits is Fargo Pepper. The second comment says we aren't married, but are he and she. So when we look at this, the he and she, we're told that the Brotherhood leader killed goddess Athena because she was having an affair with brother Amet, but her body was never found. She's presumed dead. So I was thinking it could be Athena and Amet, but then I said, hold on. The first person says specifically 2 shadow people he sees. So I'm thinking there's only 2. So when we looked at that, we said, I wonder if this means one is Fargo Pepper and one is Athena, the he and she. And DJ says, hey, look at this description of these 2 deaths. They're both happening in 2018. So this married couple died in 2002, but Fargo Pepper, presumed to die of an accidental overdose, died in 2018 on a weekend. And then these people are all supposed to die on December 25th, 2018, same year. I wonder, can someone check whether December 25, 2018 is a weekend? I'm going to guess it is. So that's the first little subtle reading comprehension clue. But I think you could look at it another way too. The question of where her body, if she was never found, presumed dead, I think what we might be looking at here is the reason these two spirits can't rest and are haunting this place. And that's because one guy was killed, but his death was ruled an accident, and one woman was killed and body never found. So I think from a story perspective, that's another reason it makes sense that it's these two. Their spirits can't rest. One got classified wrong, and one was body never found. Okay, and then in the chat, people are checking my question about December 25th, 2018, and it looks like the true answer is it was a Tuesday. Okay. Well, maybe they didn't die on that specific day. Maybe they were going to die. Maybe they died earlier. Okay. I think that's going to be the answer. It's too good not to be. So I think, what are the first names of the shadow people in alphabetical order? So I think, but this person, Goddess Athena, we don't know her first name. So I'm not sure that we could answer this. Now let's look at, there's one more document that we haven't read. Let's see. Upon spending a night on the 13th floor, you spot the elusive shadow figures on more than one occasion. You're fairly certain there are at least two of them. You decide to do call and response EVP session in hopes one or both of them will communicate. This is the transcript of the result. We say, "Hi, if you're one of the shadow people, I want to talk. If you can speak, my audio recorder may catch it. I mean you no harm." Hissing sounds. "Can you make a sign? Can you make a noise of some sort?" Loud bang. "Thank you for that. I want to know more about you. How did you die?" Hissing sounds. "Okay, can you tell me your name instead, or tell me something about you?" Mistake. "You made a mistake? Is that what you're trying to tell me?" "There, broadcloth believer, fixed hobo cooks in Wi-Fi alive." "Can you explain what you mean by that?" Hissing sounds. "Please keep talking." Hissing sounds. "Help me out here." YZ is your guide. All right, so only one main line of clues here. There, Brad, cloth believer, fixed hobo cook, sin Wi-Fi alive. Then it says YZ is your guide. I mean, this clearly isn't like a Caesar cipher. These are all real words. Why are they saying YZ is your guide? I wonder if these are first letters of each word and then ciphered? Like these words, it's hard to turn one word into another, and it's hard to move these words around to get something. So I'm thinking it might be just the first letter of these words. E, B, C, B, F, H, C, S, W A. Brad Cloth Believer Fixed Hobo Cook. Yes, okay. Now, those letters don't quite work, but now I wonder if it's another shift. Like, could it be the same shift? T goes to S, B goes to A. Let's just try this. If it's the same shift as the other one, T goes to S, B goes to A, C goes to B, B goes to A, F goes to E, H goes to G, C goes to B. This doesn't seem right. S goes to R, W goes to V, A goes to Z. Okay, that doesn't seem right. But what if YZ is saying to go in the other direction? T goes to U, A goes to B, C goes to D. This doesn't look right either. Oh, and something mistake. That's the other clue here. Mistake, and then YZ is guide. YZ is guide. So don't give any answers. If you figure it out, you can just say that you figured it out and offer to help. So I've got two problems here. I've got to decode what this is supposed to mean. Then if I think it's goddess Athena, we have to know their first names, but we don't know her first name unless we think her first name is goddess Athena. That's her first name, maybe, Athena. So maybe we do know her first name, goddess Athena. Is Athena the first name? But it feels like we surely know enough about this that we should be able to solve this. YZ is your guide. What if it's the last two letters of every word? REDBOOKINFIVE. How cool is that? Read the red book in 5. How cool is that? How nice is that as a puzzle? Read the red book in 5. How sweet is that? Now, we were asked to figure out what is it and what room number on the 13th floor should you search. So I think what we know here is we're looking for the red book in 1305. Does that match with where any of these people live? 1319, 1310. We're not told what room they were in, huh? Oh no, 1302. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. 1305. So it feels like maybe we can go to, maybe we're ready to do this one, but we may also be ready to know this one. Let's try this one first. Boy, that was a neat little puzzle. Okay, let's scan this one. All right, so no caps, no spaces. So look, I want you to notice this is Deadbolt Mystery Society. This is how you know this is one of their modern games. It's not an encrypted PDF. It's a question on a website, which is great that they've moved to this. This is a lot less painful. Okay, what do you read and what number room? So REDBOOK, and we get to see it while typing. And what room on the, I guess I'm just going to put a 5 here. No, it doesn't like that. What room? Does it want 1305? Doesn't want 1305 too. Spell out no numbers. I think you might be right. Red book, F-I-V-E. Where does it say spell out, but doesn't anymore? Ugh, it doesn't like either of these. I mean, we know this is the right. Oh, I did it wrong. Red book, F-I-V-E. This is why it's so nice that you can see this instead of the normal encrypted PDF. Okay, we got it. After searching room 1305, you eventually find a red book located in the air vent. It's a spell book of some sort. The following note was left inside. We've secretly been renting this room for a while, so no one would find out about us. The 13th floor isn't ideal, since there is a chance someone will see us. But the 13th floor is essential to what we're about to do. The number is significant. It holds power. We've tried to keep things hidden, but we're tired of hiding and are about to do something drastic. She means everything to me. In case this goes badly, look for this car in the parking garage. The license plate is made up of the following letters. Look to the heavenly number. What does a pirate say? A pool stick is called this. My goodness, wow, Lord. Mine killer honey, sweet pot V. Okay, so we've got a list of letters here. Let's see if we can figure these out here. Look to the heavenly number. I think probably they're part of this cult, so their heavenly number is 9th heaven. So I think we've got a 9. What does a pilot say? R. A pool stick is called this, a Q. My goodness, wow, Lord. My goodness, wow, Lord. MGWL. Don't know what that one is. Maybe the chat has some theory. Mine killer honey. Mine killer honey. I wonder if it's saying 3 words that all mean mine killer honey and then sweet pot V. Huh. So if you know it, you can put in the chat that you think you know it, but don't write in the answer. Give us all a chance to try to figure these out. 9RQ, made up of the following letters. 9 is not a letter, but maybe it's just a license plate, and it could have a 9, an R, and a Q. My goodness, wow, Lord. My goodness, wow, Lord. all in caps instead of a phrase. MG, I'm just going to write these out. This one is MGWL MKHSPV. Seems like this is play on words and it's not the letters that matter. My goodness, wow, Lord, is an exclamation. I wonder if it means that it wants an exclamation point. Surely not. Mine killer honey. Mine killer honey. And then sweet pot V. That's weird. That is a weird triple of words. Sweet pot V. How strange. Mine killer honey. So sometimes in a word game, like the game Connections on the New York Times puzzle, which I highly recommend if you've never played Connections. It's a very cool game. Daily, there's a new puzzle you played on New York Times website. And frequently you've got words and you're looking for which words are connected. And one of the ways that you find connections between words is you look for a word that is the prefix to all of them. So like X mine, X killer, X honey, or vice versa, mine X killer, X honey X. So you could have a honey bee, a killer bee, and a mine bee. That doesn't quite work. Coal mine, coal killer, coal honey. That doesn't work. But we'd have to find a letter. But you could see how those first two, Q and what does a pirate say, those are words that map to letters. Bee mine, killer bee, and honey bee. It's the letter B. Okay, that's it. So they did exactly what I said, except that they reversed some letters. Bee, mine, killer bee, honey bee. Okay, now we're looking for the same thing. A word that maps to a letter which matches sweet, pot, and V. How does that work? Are we looking for a letter that we combine with a V, VP? Sweet pea, pea pot, and VP. I think it's a P. I think it's the letter P. V dot P dot for a V. Very important person. Sweet pea. But then would you really have a pea pot? That's a weird thing. And VP for vice president or something. It's still a little weird. But this V makes me think we are looking for a letter. Sweet. The pot. F. Teapot. Sweet tea. Teapot. And TV. It's a T. Okay. All right. That is cute. Now, what if we just got a random string of letters and what about this exclamation point? My goodness. Oh, it's an O. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. And oh Lord. Okay, so do we have 9RQO? This is a B. What does the chat think of that? 9RQOBT. It's just a little bit weird that it's not spelling out a word and it has a number in it even though it says letters. So if it's a letter, look to the heavenly number. So if we look to the ninth number, ninth letter, I think maybe we're looking at an I. And then it's made up of the following letters, but not necessarily in this order. Could we be looking for, well, there's no QU. So I think IRQOBT. I think those are our letters, but are they in an order? There's no U, so it's hard to put that Q in the right order. What do you think? License plate random makes sense. Okay. How does the group feel about this as the license plate? Boy, that's pretty neat. Does anyone here play Connections? It's one of my favorite little puzzle games. Sometimes I play it with my family, my wife. I mean, like we both do it and talk about it, but I haven't been playing it in a while. All right, we're gonna search the parking garage. That's pretty neat little puzzle here. Okay, search the parking garage. Surely you can see it now. Okay. All right, search the parking garage where? I guess we're just gonna put in the IR, no caps, IRQOBT. Let's see what happens. Yep, that was it. You find the license plate and the car attached to it without too much trouble. The car's a black 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. From the look of things, the car has been sitting for a while, to judge by the thick layer of dust that covers it. We found a car from when they were murdered. A valet notices you looking at the car and approaches. This car's been here for years, the valet explains. I don't think it even runs now. The old owner of the hotel didn't care that it was here. He didn't care about most things, which is why he lost the hotel and someone else was able to buy it for a steal. The new owner, however, is set on fixing this place up, so I'd expect that this car will be towed to the junkyard or sold at some point in the very near future. If you want to check the car out, yeah, be my guest. It's nothing to me. The key's under the visor. There isn't much of note inside the car, but when you look in the trunk, you discover an old turntable and a single vinyl record. Okay, summer one day, so me and you, thinking and King Greed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's write this out so we don't have to, well, maybe we can just keep it here. Summer one day, so me and you, thinking King Greed. Numbered 1 through 4. Can't click on this and play it. Okay. So we've gone to the room, we found the red book. We've gone to the parking garage. What we haven't done yet is entered the first names. I think maybe we should try putting in Athena and Fargo and see if that works. If not, we're going to have to get their names somehow, maybe from this. Summer one day, so me and you thinking King Greed. Strange. Okay, well let me try this. Let me try this. And see if we know the names of these two. So in alphabetical order, we think it's I guess Athena and then Fargo. Those are the men and women in alphabetical order. Unless Athena is not her first name. So let's try this. Aha, we got it. Okay, pretty cool. You're reasonably certain that the two shadow people lurking the corridors of the 13th floor are Fargo Pepper and Goddess Athena, or Katie Brown, as she was more commonly known by those outside the cult. Hoping to get results now that you know their names, you decide to do another EVP session with a digital voice recorder. Fargo and Katie, are you with me? If so, you can speak and my recorder will possibly pick up your voices. Here. Okay, great. I just want to understand what happened to you. Tragedy. There was a tragedy. Were the two of you in love? Secret. Your love was a secret? Trapped. Trapped by the cult? Baron. She was trapped by Baron Vance. And what did you do about it? Off the record. Okay, off the record, sure, but you're both dead, and you don't have anything to worry about. You can talk to me. And you, King Greed. I'm not sure what that means. Can you tell me where to look? 1313. Okay, so she's clearly talking to the about the record. I think they're trapped. She tells us they're in 1313. And then she mentions the record. And you, King Greed. I mean, that matches the letter, right? It's hard to have these both on the screen at the same time. And you, King Greed. I think we're going to have to write one of these or both of these down. She says, A, and you, Kin, Greed. Okay, and then the letter, the record says summer one day. Seems like maybe the clues that she said are words we take off from these, I wonder. So this second thing says so, me and you. And then 3 is thinking. And 4 is King Greed. Okay, now, if we look at this, I wonder if it's saying, like, get rid of the ER and the AD, and then you'd have SUMMONED, which is summoned. Okay, so we're getting rid of the ER, the AY, we're getting rid of the AND, we're getting rid of the U, we're getting rid of the King, we're getting rid of the KIN, and we're getting rid of the Greed. And when we do that, we get summoned something. Oh, cool. How cool is that? They summoned something. So what did they do? They summoned something. And where did they do it? Well, she says room 1313. Okay, so they summoned something in 1313, and I guess that's this question here. What did the shadow people do? So let's go ahead and answer that question. I mean, surely you can see the QR code now. Okay. What did they do? Okay. They summoned something. Yeah. You get a bad feeling the moment you set foot in room 1313. There's a heaviness in the air, and you sense an evil presence. The spirits of Fargo and Katie told you that they summoned something in 1313. After spending several minutes in the room, you notice a piece of sheetrock has been replaced on one section of the wall. You use a pocket knife to dig at the seam enough to allow you to get your fingers behind it and pull the sheetrock away from the stud. You see the mummified remains of a woman behind the wall. She's holding a note. It reads, "We were madly in love, but the cult wasn't going to let her go. Baron wasn't going to let her go. In all my years of playing with zombified Zeus, I had heard stories about people dabbling in the occult and dealing with the black arts. I suggested," I'm just trying to understand why the formatting is so weird here. "I suggested she and I do something like that to try turn the tables on the cult. We were going to call something forth to do our bidding. I even got my hands on an incantation book. It seems like an idiotic idea now. At the time, it was genius. Something like that couldn't land either of us in jail. The courts don't recognize the supernatural. So if our plan worked, she could be free of the cult. If not, we were free to try something else. As it turned out, our plan worked too well. We summoned something. That something, an evil spirit, a demon, whatever you want to call it, possessed Baron Vance and drove him to kill the other members of the group and himself. He would have killed Katie too if I hadn't saved her. But once Baron was dead, whatever was inside him found Katie and took control of her, forcing her to attack me. She tried to kill me, and ultimately I stabbed her while defending myself. I know it wasn't her, though, but it broke my heart. Every bit of this was my fault. I put her in this wall, hoping that what we had unleashed would never see the light of day again. But eventually the evil came for me, and it's inside me now. I'm barely in control of myself. I can feel it getting stronger. I'm writing this letter before I head back to my room where a bowl of pills awaits me. Hopefully this ends the tragedy and I can be with my Katie again. I want to spend my eternity with her. One more thing, though. I used a Ouija board to ask whoever or whatever was out there listening how to get rid of this unclean spirit, and they told me to do the following. Light some candles, burn some sage, recite a very specific passage from a certain prayer book, draw some sigils on the wall, cut my palm with a knife, and let the blood drip down, and then ring a bell. If the presence is still roaming the 13th floor, I would try this as a means of getting rid of it. I do it myself, but I can't. Since it lives inside of me now, it won't allow it. I'm not even sure if it will allow me to take my own life. We'll see. Wow, that's creepy. So, is this formatting important? Like, do we get words if we look down this and look for this RAEGNOITSLFOT? Is it in reverse? OW out of GEAR. This is a word reading up. It says, like, if you look at the weird formatting, I see, like, if we read it from bottom to top, the first line of each word, some of them look like OUTOF, out of, and then it's LS, that doesn't make sense, but STION, and then gear, GEAR. And then on the right hand side, it's almost like hell. ITGOTEITEMELGDND. There's clearly some words being hidden in the left and right. I'm just not 100% sure there's a, like, this weird formatting stops at some point. It stops right where it says seeing the light of day, right in the middle there. And clearly out of gear. Out of STION, Stian, Elstian, gear. And we have a list of gear here. What do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? In order, no caps, no space. So this is our final clue. It's telling us what gear to use and in what order. She does tell us. She says, light some candles, burn some sage, recite a passage from a prayer book. Light some candles. So is that candles? Burn some sage. Is that incense? Like, are we just supposed to do this? But then there are clearly some words embedded in this. Let's just see if we can. This does seem to be instructions here. So maybe we do it this way. Okay, here are the instructions. Light some candles. So candles is Q. Light some candles, burn some sage. That looks like R, incense. Recite a passage from a prayer book. Which one is that? Prayer book. Okay. Okay, this seems right so far. N is sage. Is there a specific sage? Okay. Sage, thank you. Okay. Sage, prayer book. Draw some sigils on the wall. Do we have sigils? Yes. T, sigils. Cut my palm with a knife and let the blood drip down. So we're looking for blood or knife. Blood is G. G is blood. There's no knife, right? And then ring the bell. Where is bell? S. Okay, there's no knife, so it's just blood. And then bell. So there's our list of items to use. Q, N, K, T, G, S. But it seems clear to me that there's some extra message in here. Now, what is it? What does it say? And is it the right-hand side too, or just the left-hand side? Okay, let's see what we've got here. Broke my heart. H-A-Y-E-D. I guess I'm going to write this out. H-A-Y-E-D. H-A-Y-E-D. H-A-Y-E-A. H-A-Y-E-A-O-W-O-U-T. O-W-O-U-T. Of. O-F. I'm reading up on the left-hand side. And then it looks like we have an L. S-T-I-O-N. L. S-T-I-O-N. Then G-E-A-R. G-E-A-R. And then it's back to normal. So looks like it says out of El Stion gear. What does that mean? What am I doing wrong? Out of L dot S-T-I-O-N gear. Are we supposed to use the right-hand side of this also? I mean, we might just have the list here, but out of, I mean, clearly this is writing out something about being out of here. Is there some word like substitution out of L? We don't have L. Let me just see what the chat is thinking here. Maybe we should just try the letters associated with the items as a password before chasing down some hidden message. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's try it. So, as long as something bad doesn't happen to us. So we're looking for the last question. What do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? In order, no caps, no spaces. Okay, let me let me offer an alternate let me offer an alternate thought here. In almost every other game, we would do what Jonathan's saying, which is rather than chase our tails here down a rabbit hole for some possible extra message, we should just perform this paranormal ritual, try the easy, straightforward one, and then if it doesn't work, if the game says, no, that's wrong, then we would go deeper. But let me suggest that we're doing a little bit of a ritual, and there's some demon. And putting in the wrong answer could backfire on us. Like, it could summon up some demon with the wrong ritual. So I'm going to suggest we spend a couple more minutes trying to make sure that there's not a secret message here that could tell us something we should do differently. So let's just spend a moment here making sure that there's not a secret message about how to cure this, how to get rid of this spirit. Try this as a means of getting rid of it. It lives inside me. Out of L-S-T-I-O-N gear. L-S-T-I-O-N gear. Maybe he's saying the letters he's out of. L-S-T-I-O-N? Is that what he's saying? I'm out of L-S-T-I-O-N. That doesn't make sense because he clearly has the Ouija board. Or I think I read that he had the Ouija board. Out of... It's just weird. All right, I guess we'll try it unless anyone has any idea how to make sense of it. Out of gear. Why is he telling us he's out of gear? I'm not sure how that helps us. I mean, he used a Ouija board, so he's clearly not out of the eye gear. All right, well, let's try it. It would be weird if it didn't ask us for it at some point. But we're gonna try it. And if we get killed, I'll blame. Could it be because your tablet is vertical? That's an interesting idea. I tried resize. I mean, let's see. It's the same thing. It's just, it's a PDF. So this is the page layout. It is a fixed layout. It's not word wrapping it. It is an image that we're looking at. Okay, that's okay. We're going to try this and we'll see what happens. All right, what do you use to cleanse the 13th floor? All right, so we're gonna put these in order, no caps, no spaces. Okay. So we said, Harry says, I believe there is a code there. Well, I agree. I just don't know how to make sense of it. So candles, sage was N. Candles, sage, prayer book is K. Sigils is T. Blood is G. And the bell is S. Let's see what happens. The evil presence in 1313 that Fargo and Katie summoned knows you're about to cleanse the hotel and is none too happy about it. Items are hurled across the room, unseen hands push you and scratch you. Your name is whispered with malevolent intent, but you stay focused. Using all of the items and steps mentioned in Fargo's notes, you follow the instructions perfectly, and when you're done, the room and the entire building feels immediately lighter. It feels free. As if on cue, two shadow people emerge from room 1305. At first, the two figures are distinct and separate. Then, inexplicably, the two meld into one shadow figure. The sight confuses you at first until you remember that Fargo and Katie were in love. And just as two people symbolically become one when they get married, Fargo and Katie have literally done their version of that in front of your very eyes. Thank you, they whisper before exploding in a puff of smoke and disappearing before your very eyes. The sight might be touching if it wasn't so strange. As far as you're concerned, their troubled souls have moved on to the next life, and the demonic presence they summoned has been vanquished. The 13th floor is now cleansed. You head to the manager's office to give him the good news and wonder if you should bill the hotel extra for doing battle with the forces of evil. Certainly seems like it might be worth an extra 10%. On to the next haunting. Case closed. All right. Well, that solves the case of the shadow people on the 13th floor. Took us about an hour and 50 minutes here. Let's take our 8-minute break. We'll come back. We'll discuss the case. I'll see you in 8 minutes. Okay, we're back for our final thoughts on Deadbolt Mystery Society Shadow People on the 13th floor. We should thank Stacy, a viewer of this channel, for sending this to me. One of Deadbolt Mystery Society's mini games, which is crazy that they produce these boxes for the last 7 years every month, and they still have time to create games outside of their normal monthly games. And this was phenomenal. As a short game, I don't know how you could ask for better than this. This is all the stuff that they do so well that I love. Some real narrative, a real creepy supernatural ghost story, a good classic interesting ghost story with an interesting story. And the puzzles here were actually very good. That YZ one where we used letters of words and parts of words, the little word puzzle where we had to find the letters of the license plate, and not just that, not just the individual puzzles were good. There's some real reading comprehension, deductive puzzle part about figuring out who are the two spirits, figuring out that there were two of them. And then the other thing that was so nice here is that it wasn't really linear, right? Like there were a couple things that we could have done in different orders, and weird cases where we weren't sure what goes with what. These two go together. What question are they answering? Boy, that was good. I mean, I really loved that case. I loved the puzzles. I loved the pacing. I loved the way the puzzles were connected. And most of all, I loved this ghost story. I thought it was going to be sort of a mediocre ghost story. The two lovers were killed by the woman's boyfriend, but it was much more interesting, right? It was that these two lovers found an incantation book, met up in this hotel room, summoned a creature, a demon that possessed her boyfriend, and then the boyfriend killed her, and then the spirit got, or no, the demon got in her and had her kill her boyfriend, her cult leader, and then the spirit jumped into her and attacked her boyfriend, her lover, and he managed to kill her, bury her in the wall, and then the spirit got in him. He had to kill himself to get rid of the spirit who's still haunting this place. Pretty fun. And we found the car in the garage that had been sitting there for 7 years. Pretty cool. Very appropriate for October. I'd say we're doing pretty well this October. And it still shocks me that Deadbolt Mystery Society can be this consistently good. And then we had this little extra mystery note on this webpage. I wonder what that was about. Okay, the channel seemed to like it quite a bit. Cool puzzles, great for introducing people. Fun, quick game. Solid, short experience. Definitely fun puzzles. Not sure what more I can ask. I could see this as something that might have been a convention sample giveaway. I mean, this is a pretty good game for a little giveaway. But yeah, a nice little small set of components. The YZ was brilliant. It does seem like perfect sampler for a convention or something. I'm not very good at puzzle. I enjoy watching someone solve them. And the near stay clue was neat. Yeah, lots of great stuff here. Some easy ones and some ones that you could see getting stuck on, but all logical, all pretty cool. Yeah, this is, I think this, I mean, I prefer long form games, but I think if you were ranking the short mystery puzzle experiences, this has to be right up there with maybe my favorite. Most of the Deadbolts aren't this supernatural, but they do these supernatural well. I hope they keep doing them. All right, thank you for joining me. Now, tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m., we will be playing a new Dear Holmes case. Then we'll have off for a few days. Everyone can recharge. We'll meet up again either Thursday or Friday for something bigger, and I'll try to give you some advance notice. Maybe we'll play that Ghost in the Attic bigger game. Well, whatever it is, I'll see some of you tomorrow, the rest of you next week. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for your help. See you next time.